Hello. This is your host, C. Jackson Paul, live from the Eternal Gems Studio. Welcome to 18 Entrepreneurs Crash Course at Life, where we learn the tools that will let you build the life that you deserve. Once you have started your own business, you will eventually start getting employees, and you will have to lead them. Leadership is a critical skill for everyone in life, whether they are an entrepreneur or not, but especially for the entrepreneur. It is, ultimately, impossible to be successful on a large scale as an entrepreneur without being a successful leader, since any big business will need employees, and, if you don't learn to lead, then you will not be able to retain competent employees. Here are 5 tips for being a good leader. Tip number 1, be a humble leader. Some people think of leadership as bossing people around. To them, a leader is someone who says,
"Okay, listen up. I need this done yesterday, no excuses. And somebody bring me a mocha while I sit here and don't help."
That is the exact opposite of what you want to be doing. As a leader, you should not be focused on making yourself successful. Instead, first, focus on achieving the goal, and second, focus on building up those who you are leading. Have you ever worked on a team with a leader that couldn't get out of the way of their own ego? If so, you know that experience was terrible. Be the leader you would want to be led by, and treat your followers as you would want to be treated. So, how do you lead humbly? There are several ways to do this. First, you need to admit when you are wrong. If a subordinate proposes a plan or makes a suggestion that is better than yours, admit it. As far as you can avoid it, never make the justification for doing something.
Because I'm the leader and I said so.
Instead, explain your actions to your employees, and if you can't justify your decisions, then you are probably making the wrong ones. Always make your followers feel like what they are doing matters, and make sure they know why. That way, the only reason they are doing their jobs isn't just fear of you, which is a terrible motivator. Another way to lead humbly is to not be afraid of work. There is a story of a boss one day who, when walking through the halls of his office, came across a spill of water on the floor. So, he went to the supply closet, got a mop and bucket, brought them over to the spill, and then called over an employee to clean up the mess while he watched. It would have saved everyone's time if he had done the work himself. Here humility would have led to effectiveness, but, instead, he insisted on standing on his dignity as a leader. So, as a leader, get your hands dirty, and don't make an employee do anything that you would be unwilling to do yourself. If you make your employees do the dirty jobs, but refuse to do them yourself, you will make yourself an object of contempt for your employees. A final way to lead humbly is to avoid power trips. This should go without saying, but your job as a leader isn't to exert power, it's to get the job done. You have a finite amount of influence, and going around flexing it just to feel important will squander it against the day when you will actually need all the influence you can get. Tip number 2, lead with vision. As a leader, you need to have an idea of where your business is going, and what the end goal is. You have to be able to say,
"Here is where I think things ought to go for the next year, the next 3 years, or the next 10 years. Here is why these goals support our vision, and here is how we can accomplish them."
Leading with vision means not only developing the long-term plan, but in determining the ways it can be accomplished, in inspiring your employees with a vision, and in actually helping them accomplish it. To clarify, leading with vision doesn't mean you just make up metrics and hope your employees can reach them. It means doing the hard work of deciding where your business is currently failing, and how it can fix these failures. This process involves a lot of humility, since it requires you to say,
"What I am currently doing isn't working, so I need to see what is wrong with my actions, and fix what is making them ineffective."
Tip number 3, learn how and when to delegate. Sometimes, as a leader, you want to micromanage every single thing. But you can't. Not only do you not have the time, but it is a bad idea even if you do. Your employees, the good ones who take pride in their work anyway, want to have some autonomy, and to be able to do their work without the boss breathing down their neck. The solution to both problems is delegation. Delegation is where you give control of a particular segment of your leadership to an employee. For instance, if you are unable to fulfill your managerial duties because you are busy doing things that your subordinates could do, then teach them the skills they need to do the task, and let them go, only checking in to make sure things are getting done. Tip number 4, lead with actions, not words. There are 2 sorts of leaders. There is the kind that walks around yelling at people to do stuff, and those that actually take action, and inspire others to follow. As a leader, you ought to act as you want the people under you to act. If you want them to pay attention to detail, don't lose your lid whenever they don't. Make your work an example of attention to detail, and encourage them to follow that example. If you want your workers to give 100%, then give 110%. You should always, as a leader, strive to make your life the model of what you want those who follow you to be. If you don't, then your followers will smell your hypocrisy, and it will seriously impair your effectiveness as a leader. Would you follow someone who told you to work hard, and then left early every day and took long lunches? If not, then why would you expect people to follow you if you act like that? Tip number 5, know when you need to lead. Some people need to have the spotlight on them all the time. Aren't they annoying? Well, don't be like them. Sometimes, you need to take charge, but sometimes, there is someone more competent or experienced than you there, and, if you try and take charge, then you will cause problems. When in doubt, just use tip number 4, and use your example to lead. If you find that people are looking to you, then lead them. If they don't, then congrats. You have avoided leadership, and will have less work to do. This script took me forever to write, because leadership is hard. But it is perhaps one of the most important, and certainly one of the most difficult, skills you will ever learn. Please leave your own leadership tips down in the comments. And remember, leadership is not about you, it is about the vision you are leading towards. Like Moses in the desert, use the chance to lead, not to accumulate accolades for yourself, but to take you and your followers closer to the promised land. Everyone has dreams in life, and we at Eternal Gems want to help you live up to your full potential. Check out our website and social media, linked below in the description, leave your thoughts down in the comments, and stay tuned for more videos.